Everyone, we are back on FinTechs TV on the Green Finance TV show. I've got the great pleasure to have with me Thierry, who is the chairman of Finance for Tomorrow. We are here at Climate Finance Day 2019. I would like to introduce Thierry about the new function and the new challenge according to the financial industry.
So the new challenges for the finance industry is actually to catch up with the gap that we were mentioning a little bit in terms of becoming green and sustainable. I don't think that we've been delayed because I think a number of initiatives, in particular in Paris and with the French institutions, they've really sort of put their act together in terms of making commitments, but also engaging into a transformation. I mean, obviously these things don't happen overnight, so we shouldn't sort of expect of a magic wand that 1 year from another would just make finance able to be 100% green and sustainable. The economy has to be transformed at the same time because finance is there to serve the economy. Greening the economy is also involving innovation, new technology, small projects, small investment, which the financial institutions today are not necessarily able to access. Actually, fintechs could complement that gap in terms of being able to access things that are not necessarily typically accessed by large institutions, especially banks and others. So I think there's a good momentum. Again, as I was saying in my speech earlier, my opening speech, it's about acting today and acting now. It's about sharing experience and basically measuring what we do. So that's the only way that we can actually decrease this anxiety and engage more and more actors and players into the greening of the economy.
You know that in 2020 there will have a great challenge also for United States about the election, general election. How can we expect from this? Because as you know, Donald Trump said that he wants to disagree with the Paris Agreement and to make it happen. How can we challenge this, and what can we expect from this great challenge, not only for United States but for the world and the Paris Agreement itself?
I mean, it's unfortunate that the US wants to leave the Paris Agreement. However, when I see the progress that is being made at the state and local level, there is a lot of engagement. If I take states like New York, California, but many others, they are probably more advanced in terms of their policy. When you see that California, for example, is talking about mass transit and public transport being zero emission by 2030, this is very ambitious. So local governments and state governments in the US are engaged actually in the Paris Agreement. Unfortunate that the whole country at the federal level could not be participating. We haven't seen some sort of demotivation from all the signatories of the Paris Agreement due to this. So at the end of the day, let it be, and let's just keep working with the players and the actors, the local governments in the US that are willing to work with the Paris Agreement.
Now let's take a view about Africa. Africa will be a great piece of the future, and a great piece also for the rebooting of the greener economy. How can we implement natively the Paris Agreement from scratch on a continent who have to cope with not only the Paris Agreement but to cope with the mondialization and to be much more integral natively with a green field?
I mean, Africa, and that's what I mentioned in my speech, and the challenge that Finance for Tomorrow do want to engage on finance for development and finance for green development. It's fundamental in terms of achieving the Paris Agreement to engage with the South, if you want to call it that way, and Africa is a fundamental continent in terms of implementing policies and green financing in a big way. I think we shouldn't underestimate that today a lot of Africa has been actually finance, its development has been financed through either aid or development finance institutions, and they've all been applying very strict standards in terms of environment. So we're not starting from nowhere, but Africa will have the opportunity to leapfrog in a way in terms of going directly to a green industrialization rather than going through all the mistakes that we've been through ourselves. So I'm quite positive that we should engage as Finance for Tomorrow on this issue.
So, Thierry DEAU, I would like to thank you very much for sharing your insights, for sharing your engagement in this upcoming challenge for all the world, and in particular for the financial industry, and hope to see you again on FinTechs TV.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.